Hello, YouTube. Today I am going to talk about my inspiration and the process of my making the decision to come live in Japan. Um, so, in my experience, and I don't understand why, but for certain people, certain cultures or certain countries are more attractive than other countries. I have a friend in Finland who's really interested in Native American culture. I have a lot of friends in the U.S. that were really interested in visiting India. For me, it was Japan. It has been Japan for a long time, forever. Um, and I don't know exactly why. Maybe it has something to do with anime or movies. Maybe a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both. But when I was maybe 14 or 13, in my hometown, there was an exchange program to go to Shingushi, Wakayama Ken. And I applied for this program, and I was selected as one of the 14 or so delegates to travel to Shingu. And at the time, Japan was interesting to me, but I wasn't in love or anything with Japan. And I just wanted to travel, so I was happy to go. And we went and spent those 10 or so days with a host family, and it blew my mind. I was I knew when I got back from that trip that Japan was going to be in my future in some way, shape, or form. And I had traveled a lot. I was born in Brazil, and my family lived in Africa for a number of years, and but something about Japan was different for me. Something really attracted me about it. And so when I got back from that program on that trip way back in 2005, I volunteered. I just volunteered on the program for years. I was on the program just volunteering for almost 8 or 9 years. And eventually, and I was young, but eventually I helped them with the interview process to select students that would go to Japan. And I hosted Japanese students in my house, and I would take the Japanese students that visited around town. Did that for a long time, every year. And eventually I was invited to go back on the program and chaperone students in Wakayama Ken, which was awesome, and I was honored to go. And I did. And when I went back for this was the second time. This is in 2010, maybe, something like that. Um, I stayed with the host family again, and after that, that was the trip that solidified what I would be doing now, which is working on the JET program as an ALT. Because I was at a dinner with the mayor of the town and a bunch of kind of business owners and people involved with the program and that work for the city office, and one of them mentioned that I should work as an ALT in the town. And at the time, I didn't think much of it. I had no idea what an ALT was. Uh, just kind of disregarded it, but it stuck in my head. And when I got back home, I researched that what being an ALT entailed and learned about the JET program. And when I did that, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I knew that that's what I wanted to do for sure. So I was in college, and I was about to graduate, and I applied and did the interview and everything, and I didn't get it. I was placed on the alternate list, not the short list, which was devastating. I mean, I didn't have like a backup plan. I was so sure this is what I wanted to do, and I mean, it's tough. It's really brutal being on that list. So I waited and wasn't sure what to do, and eventually I gave up. I got a job working at a mental health rehabilitation center. I found a new place to live, got in a routine. I was doing okay. And then in December of 2013, I got the call, and out of nowhere, hey, do you want to come to Japan? And I was shocked. Um, and I didn't know where I would be placed or what the situation and the circumstances were that made that job opening happen. But in my head, as long as I was placed inside of Japan, we're good. And I'm so glad I did. That was the best decision of my life. And so I told him, yeah. And I had a month to get ready. And so I quit my job. I sold my car. I sold my motorcycle. Everything. It was a blur. And inside of that month, I got sick, sicker than I'd ever been and I needed surgery, and I had to push back the date of departure, which I was terrified that they would give my spot to someone else. Thank God they didn't. And so I recovered from surgery, and as soon as I was out of the hospital, like a week later, I was on a plane going to Japan, and in a considerable amount of pain, but happy nonetheless because I was coming here. And I can say with absolute confidence that that decision was the right one. I am doing very well here. Japan is the right place, and I still don't really know what that thing is that draws me to this country, but having lived here, that thing, whatever it is still alive, and I still feel it, and I'm really happy to be here. There are, of course, downsides to living here, as there would be with any country that you live in, but the upsides are so good. Oh my god, that's maybe just a topic in and of itself. Anyway, that is my story of coming to Japan, my decision, and my inspiration to come work here. And it was the right one. Can't recommend the program highly enough. It's awesome here. Anyway, next time maybe I'm thinking I'm gonna talk about, because I haven't made a video in more than a year. I think I'll talk about like an overview of my 2014 year, which was a good and crazy year. So I'll do an overview of that, and we'll move on from there with advice style videos for new ALTs looking to come work here.